Okay, so we've got a fun little painting planned for today. Just move a couple of 3 or 4 things around. All right, so welcome. I am Sean, and I am a certified ROS instructor. And today we're going to have some fun. Just going to clean off a few brushes while we're waiting for folks to join. We'll have some fun little painting that I've never really tried to do, but we're going to give this one a shot. So, if you've got questions or comments, please feel free to ask. Plan on this being one that we're going to do from beginning to end. So if you're one of the folks, and I see quite a few people online that have gotten painting sets for Christmas and whatnot, and are wondering how to do it, this will be every step from beginning to end, literally, on how to paint a painting. So the first thing, hello, I'm Sean. And like I said, I'm a certified ROS instructor. We need our liquid white. All right, so let me get our liquid white ready to go. And I'll be paying attention to the chat from time to time. Thank you for the gifts. Those are always appreciated. Helps more folks find the chat or find the channel and our live streams. Okay. So we've got a 24 by 12 canvas today, and I've just put some borders on it with some painting tape. You get that at the hardware store. And we're just going to get a little bit of our liquid white onto this. I'm using a 1-inch Bob Ross brush. Okay. And you're just going to put the liquid white on and then just kind of rub it in. Just rub it in. Stretch it out. You don't want too much, okay? And how much is too much? Well, I'll show you. If you come up here and you touch it lightly, and you can see your fingerprint, that's good. That's good, okay? If you touch it and your finger looks like that, now notice I touched the tape there, did that on purpose. That's too much, okay? You don't want your finger to look like you just stuck it into the jar of liquid white, okay? Let me wipe my finger off, excuse me, I'm gonna cut in front of the camera. Sorry about that. All right, wipe off my finger, and we've got box number 1 done. Just get a little more liquid white on the brush. Should look about like that. Okay. And get it on here. Now these canvases are double primed, which is what you want. If it's not primed, the chances are that it's going to start to dry too quickly. And that's not good if you're trying to paint wet on wet like Bob did. Okay. So make sure it's double primed. You can prime it with gesso yourself. I just buy my canvases from bobross.com. They already come double primed, pre-stretched canvases. I know they're good to go. I don't need to overthink anything. Okay. All right. Just kind of stretch that out. And once you've done this enough, you'll know just from feeling the canvas with your brush if it's too much. Okay. That just comes with experience. All right. Real quick, you got the liquid white on, you're good to go. Okay, let me try to, like I said, I'm going to try to keep my eyes on the chat. So if you've got questions, feel free to ask. Usually, one of my in-person students joins us, Jordy, and she can answer questions as well. Hello, Scorpion Cigar Box. How are you doing today? Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's try and get started. Okay, so what I've got planned is this is going to be a seasonal progression. So this is going to be summer, and this is going to be winter. It's the same scene, just summer, winter, okay? We could do the whole thing summer, we could do the whole thing winter, but I'm going to cut the scene in half, and half of it's summer, half of it's winter. All right, so I'm going to get my brush. Now, it's got all that liquid white on it. I'm going to come over here again. Sorry for cutting in front of the camera. I'm just going to dry clean it on a paper towel. That should be good enough. I'm going to come over here. Let's look at our colors that we've got today. I've got titanium white. Got a little phthalo green from a previous painting, but I don't think I'm going to use that today. I might for the mountain. We'll see. Phthalo blue, Prussian blue, midnight black, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, alizarin crimson. This is the sap green. We'll use that in the summer side. Got a couple of yellows, cadmium yellow, Indian yellow, and then a little bright red. Okay. And all these, I always use Bob Ross products. Again, I see online people ask, you know, should I use this? Should I use that? And I say, look, you guys are overthinking this. Just go to bobross.com. You're trying to paint like Bob Ross. Just go use Bob Ross's stuff. It's that simple. Okay. All right, we're going to get some phthalo blue onto our brush. Come up here. Turn your brush horizontal. Don't paint it like this vertically. Paint it horizontal. And then just come in and very quickly throw in a happy little sky. All right. I'm going to leave these holes, and I'm varying the pressure. And because we have that liquid white on the canvas, as we get down towards the horizon, what's going to happen is it's going to start to fade out. Perfect. All right. Very nice. Thank you for the gift, Jordy. Jordy has joined us. Like I said, she's one of my in-person students. If you have questions, and I happen to not see it, Jordy can probably answer it for you. Okay. I want some water down here. So we're going to pull from the side inwards. Okay. And it's just a sweeping motion. And just like that, we'll kind of brush it out. All right. Keep coming in here. You can kind of leave that little area of light. That'll look like a little bit of sun there bouncing off the water. That's really nice. Okay. Take our brush. We're going to just dry clean this bad boy. Okay. Just dry clean them on a paper towel. That's what I've got here on the side. If it's too much, then I will clean them. And yeah, it's probably time to clean this guy. So give me a second. We'll come over here to the paint thinner. This is odorless paint thinner. You don't want to use turpentine. Turpentine will, well, first of all, it's going to stink to high heaven. The second thing, it's going to leave a bit of a residue in your brushes, and that's not good. I'm just going to beat the devil out of him in a waste paper basket, and he's good to go. Come back. Make sure he's dry on a paper towel. You touch that with a wet brush, it's going to all turn to mud. All right. But I'm going to get, just to be safe, I have another one. It's a different 1-inch brush. It's clean and dry. Haven't used this guy for a few days. So I'm going to come over here, just very, very, very lightly. I'm going to start to blend all of that together. Okay, take a step back. That is always nice. Look at how awesome that looks. Wow. Didn't know you could do it, but you can. Very easy. Just takes the right products and a little bit of practice. Okay? Just the right products and a little bit of practice. Pull it across, and you got all these little cloud actions kind of going on in the sky. That simple. It really is that easy. We'll just come across there, just make sure. Alrighty, set that brush down, and now it's my favorite part. my favorite thing to paint happens to be mountains. Surprise, surprise. And let's see what we've got here. I'm going to come back to my palette. Now, unlike Bob, I often set my palette down. Okay. I've got some midnight black. Let's just grab that midnight black. We'll get a little bit of that Prussian blue. I'm going to make a big old mountain mix. Some of the phthalo blue, what the heck. We'll get some alizarin crimson. I'm not really foreseeing that I'm going to need too much alizarin crimson for anything else, so we're going to use it for the mountain mix. So come over here and mix that all together and come from the side. Boom. From the side again. You know what, let's even throw in a little bit of the Van Dyke brown into that. That won't hurt. All right, now usually I just use the mountain mix that you can get, again, from the Bob Ross website, but today, I don't know, I felt like making a mountain mix. Thought we'd be a little different. All right, I'm just gonna turn that over a couple of 2 or 3 times, maybe a little more blue, a little more Prussian blue and that midnight black. And you know what? We'll take some of that some of that phthalo green and mix that in there. If you don't know it, the phthalo green and the alizarin crimson are what makes the Bob Ross midnight black. We're going to darken the heck out of that, I hope. Okay. Let's see. No questions, no comments, no questions. If you've got questions, feel free to ask. Again, thank you for the gifts. Those are highly appreciated. All right. So we're going to come and get that little roll of paint. I don't know if you can see that. Just get a little roll of paint on your knife and, I don't know, right here. Put us a mountain right there. Maybe he's a big old mountain. And it comes that way. It's going to come off the canvas. Oops, didn't mean to pick the tape up. Oh well. It's going to come there. Scrape that paint down just like that. Okay. Get yourself another roll, and maybe there's another peak over here. I don't know. A little thing there. Maybe he's got a little bump right there. And he's going to come off. And we'll worry about the other side in a few minutes. Don't worry about that. Come back, scrape all of that paint off. You can probably hear how much I'm scraping. Okay. Set your knife to the side. We'll get this. I'm just going to use the dirty brush. Doesn't matter. And we're going to pull this to the side. Just pull that down. Pull that paint down. Start to let it mix with the liquid white right there. Try to say that fast 3 times. And suddenly you have a happy little mountain. Looks like he's just floating there in the mist. Okay, just pull this very quickly. Pull that down just like that. Very nice, very nice. Now you could leave the mountain just like that if you wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I always tell students step back 6 feet every few minutes. If you wonder why, I'm not just checking the chat when I step back. I'm also looking at the painting to make sure I'm happy with it. Okay. If you're not happy with it, this is the time to change it. Don't wait till, you get to the very end and you're like, I don't like that mountain. You should have changed it right now. Okay? This is the time. So we're going to take a step back, take my own advice. All right. I like what I'm seeing. Cut right in front of the camera. Sorry about that. And so now we're going to deal with our highlights right here. Okay? So let's take, I'm going to use the small knife. This is the Bob Ross small knife. He does make 2 knives. You can see the sizes here. One's bigger than the other, obviously. I'm going to use the smaller one for this one today. I'm going to put just mean, just the ever smallest amount of bright red into that, just to warm it up a little, give it a little bit of a flavor to it. That way it's not just straight up white. Okay, I'm gonna pull it out flat, as flat as I can get it, just like that. I'm gonna come across, I'm gonna get a little roll of paint. Okay, it's right on the edge of the knife. I'm gonna come over here and just kind of let the highlights come down the mountain, just like that. Okay. Now this little knife is great for these smaller mountains. Just let it slip on down. This is very little pressure. Okay. That's the first and the biggest mistake. Hey, thanks, Leah. Thank you for the gifts. Make sure that you guys are using as little pressure as possible. And it's going to take you a minute to get that down. Do not put your finger, I see this all the time, do not do this, okay? It's almost like a natural thing that you want to do it. Hold your knife like that, okay? Come up here, touch, just let it right on down the mountain. Actually does work a little bit better the faster you are for some odd reason, the faster you go. Okay, just come down here. Now we're going to take a little bit of that white off to the side. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the phthalo blue to get kind of a bluish color. Hopefully you can see that. That's going to be our shadow color. Again, get the little roll of paint. Just come up here, put some shadows right in there, okay? Pull it out. Again, get yourself a little roll of paint. Come up there. Pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. Again, all I'm doing when I step away is I'm just getting me some more paint. Okay, take a step back, kind of see how it looks. Oh, this is looking really nice so far. I'm pretty happy with it. Get some more shadow color. I'm gonna come back in here and fix that highlight right there. Okay. Pull your highlight color back out. Get some more white. Come back in here. And that is a very gentle touch. Very gentle. You might even get a little bit of blue mixed in there. That's fine. Don't worry too much about it. If you've painted with me before, you know I don't really like these straight lines too much. They do bug me. But I'm going to leave those here. However, this one, I'm going to change. I'm going to come up here and just kind of whoop. That easy. That easy. Just going to change it. Okay. Give it a little backwards J. And maybe kind of make that line a little jagged as well. Now you can come back with your small knife. I'm going to use this edge and just kind of put in a few little highlights, or I should say a few shadows right in there. Pull the color out, get your little roll of paint, pull those back into the distance there. There we go. Now, one of the things to keep in mind, if you've got a pound of highlights, you only need about an ounce or two of shadows. You don't need the exact same amount. Okay. Come back, step back a little bit. right, if you've got questions, comments, concerns, please ask. Art class is the best, right? At least I think so. And believe it or not, I'm actually a history teacher by training. We're gonna tap, 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 tap. We're just gonna kind of create some mist down at the bottom here. And this is a very light touch, and I try not to come up to the same height each time. Try to vary it. You don't want it to look too symmetrical. Okay. And we're just gonna very gently, I'm sweeping up to remove the brush strokes. Kind of mist that out at the bottom. Come with the other side of the brush now. And kind of do the same here. You can tap it. That's what I should have done first. That's what I like about oils over acrylics, is that oils are so forgiving for little mistakes like that. This would all be dry by now if it was acrylic. There we go. You can even tap a little bit of there. You can even kind of bring that down if you want. There you go. You can make that all connect. Maybe there's a ridge here and then a valley and then it goes up into the mountains. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. There we go. Now just brush it very gently. Okay. Sweep it and boom. Oh yeah. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate those. If you like what you're seeing, throw a few pennies our way. Helps us to be a little more popular, I guess you could say. All right. And buy more oil paints and stuff. So, next I can see, I think we're going to have a tree right here, maybe some land. So I'm going to take that mountain mix and a number 6 fan brush. This is the bigger of the two. Just load that bad boy up. And then just be brave. Put your little outline of your tree kind of right there. I think that's going to be good. Now, Bob always did 2 types of trees. Hangy downs and hangy ups, or push-ups. Honestly, I'm more of a push-up tree myself. That's kind of the way I prefer them. So that's what we're going to do today. You just touch in a few places here and there, and that tree is going to start to come out of your brush, just that way. Okay. Now we call this stippling. I'm just touching the canvas. Let the brush do the work, but I'm also trying to not hit the same spot twice. Okay. All the way down. You got to make those noises. For some reason, it really does help. Let us know where you guys are watching from. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if you've ever painted like Bob before. I'm sure some of you have. I'm going to reload the brush. And maybe he's got a friend. There's his friend. This is doing 2 things. It's kind of, we're framing the painting on the side here, hopefully drawing your eye into the painting, but this is also going to push those mountains back. Okay. I'm going to come up here and just, and this, just like the mountains, it actually works better if you go faster. You're stippling it. Notice I'm not trying to actually draw the trees. I see that a lot in classes. And no matter how much I say, don't try to draw the trees, everybody tries to draw the trees. Remember, we're not drawing, we're painting. Oh. That's right. That's actually a great point. I think that's Norfolk Knots. Your partner loves to paint. You can leave the mountain out, okay? Or here's a good piece of advice. You can get a bigger canvas. It can be the 18 by 24 inch canvas. It can be a 16 by 20. Doesn't matter really what size. But what you can do is block off 4 boxes like what I've got here, and then just paint mountains in each one of them. Just use it as a way to practice. There's nothing that says it has to be a completely finished painting, okay? So keep that in mind. That's a great way to practice. I've even had a class where I did that. with some of my regulars, and all we did was paint 4 mountains that day. And that really does kind of help. We're going to put some trees reflecting down in the water there. And this doesn't have to be perfect, okay? You could flip the canvas over if you wanted to and paint your trees, but you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. These are going to be reflections. Really, they probably should not be perfect, okay? So we're going to set that brush down. And then now comes the fun part. We're going to take a clean fan brush. Just going to load this guy up with some cadmium yellow. Okay, cadmium yellow. Very nice. Maybe throw in a little Indian yellow since I have Indian yellow on the palette. Okay. Now we're going to come up here. And we're going to highlight this. Now before we do that, actually, and I tend to do this all the time. I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to clean my knife off, first of all. And then we're going to come through here. I'm going to put in the indication of a tree trunk. And there's a couple ways you can do that. You can just kind of scratch through the paint, put in some stuff. You can come like this and it'll make it look like there's all sorts of sticks and twigs and everything else that you normally see back there. All right. You can also take a little bit of brown. And I don't know if you can even see that. It's a very small amount. Just touch the canvas. Bloop, bloop, right there. Bloop, right in there. Some of this probably isn't even going to, you're not going to be able to see it. But you might if you come up close enough. And then people will be just like, wow, how did you do that? All right. Again, same thing. We're going to touch the canvas. We're just going to touch to highlight in a few areas. Turn your brush over. I don't want to lose all of that dark color. I don't know if you can even see that on your screen. Hopefully you can. But it's really important to leave quite a bit of dark, okay? Because that dark will give that contrast. Come back up here, get some more highlights, color. Maybe on the other tree I'm going to put more of the Indian yellow than the cad yellow, just to make them an individual. We're going to come down, just make those little funny noises all the way down, okay? Take a step back. I'm really liking that. Painter's tape. I have a history with painter's tape. You're not supposed to tell them that, Jordy. Giving away our secrets. Gonna reload this brush. I'm gonna come down in here. We're gonna put some highlights at his feet. There we go. You can even put in a few highlights down here. Doesn't really matter. All right, set that brush to the side. Get a clean dry. I'm gonna take a 2-inch brush and we're gonna just very gently pull down. Very gently. And then pull it inwards. And with that, you've got some happy little reflections. That easy. Now, of course, we've got to have some land for everything to, for this to sit on. So I'm going to take some Van Dyke brown. Still got a little bit left. Just get a roll of Van Dyke on the old palette knife here. There we go. Just look at how easy that is. Just make sure that your stroke is like this. It's from the top left to the bottom right. It's diagonal. Okay, obviously I'm exaggerating right there, but that's what I'm doing right here. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, and then you can put a little bit of white and brown together. Maybe that Van Dyke mixed with some dark sienna. And if this is just dirty paint right here. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it's got some blue in it. And kind of highlight that. There we go. Just like that. Okay. If you want, I'm going to remove that mess now that I've got. What you can do is you can get another little roll on your knife, same thing, but this is a very, very small roll. That might even be too big now that I'm looking at it. Come up in here, you can kind of make a watery little thing. Maybe that's very shallow right there. Okay, I don't know. There we go. Okay, now I'm pretty much done with this side. Now we're going to do the other side. Okay, so for the other side, it's going to be winter is what we said. Again, if you've got questions, please let me know. I'm Sean. I am a certified Bob Ross instructor. And let's see, we're going to take, I'm just going to use my dirty brush. I'm going to use more Prussian blue this time. A little bit of phthalo blue, but it's mostly Prussian on this side of the sky. That'll make this one look darker and colder. I'm going to come in here. Hopefully you can already see this is a much darker, at least somewhat darker, sky. Okay, and we're just going to go right down. Same thing as what we did earlier. About halfway. All right, about halfway. Give or take. All right, give or take. And then from about here inwards, we'll pull in where we're going to have our water. Notice I'm always coming from the inside. From the outside in. From the outside in. Okay. You don't want to start here and go this way. Okay. If you do, you're going to get a line here. And it's not impossible to blend it out, but why make it harder? Okay, I'm lazy. I'm not trying to make it harder. I'm trying to make it easier. All right. Just kind of brush it together. Set that to the side. We can take that 2-inch brush that we used, and we're just going to blend this together. Okay, just blend it together. But we want to leave those holes. That's basically making it look like there's kind of cloud actions going on, and it's the easiest clouds you'll ever make. Okay, that's the easiest way to make some happy little cloud type things going on in the sky without having to really try. So that's, especially if you're a newbie, if you've never painted before, I would suggest this is how you do it. Okay. We all watch Bob put those fluffy clouds in, and we want to do that right away, but that's not so easy. Okay. So maybe just do this first. That way you have some success, you start to feel good about yourself, and then you'll be ready to rock and roll. All right, I got paint on myself. What a shock. All righty, I like where we're at here. Oh, back to my favorite part, mountains. Mountains. We're going to take some mountain mix. I'm going to get it on my knife, get that little roll of paint. It was coming from here, so we're going to try to make it match up. Just like that. There we go. Okay. Get some more. Maybe this guy, he's really tall over here. He's going to come up here. Ooh, that's a big boy. He grew up tall and he grew up right. To quote Tom Petty, with them Indiana boys on them Indiana nights. Probably the only Tom Petty fan in here, showing my age. But maybe not, who knows. Okay, we're going to come up here. And then there's another peak right there. Okay, and then he just goes off the canvas. Just like that. Take that paint and scrape, scrape, scrape. And this is another problem that I see with first-time students, is that they tend to pull this paint all the way down here, and then you got this massive mountain, and you're not going to have any room for your water. So don't do that. Okay, you don't need to do that. I will take a, it's somewhat clean. 1-inch brush. I'm going to pull that paint. Pull that paint. We're trying to remove whatever's left up here. We're not going to be able to do that, okay? But if we remove at least some of it, it'll make it easier for the white to stick. Ooh, that's a big old mountain right there. Just bring him in front of that peak. There we go. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. I am checking the chat from time to time. Little gifts and things, throw some pennies our way. That always helps find more canvases and paint and all that stuff. I am a high school teacher, so it's not like I'm rich. But this is really fun. I really love doing that. Oops, and I just messed up that side of that mountain. So be careful when you're pulling. I don't know if you can see that. You might mess it up a little bit. That's okay. It's actually not that bad. There we go. That's good enough for government work. Pull this down. Now we've got our mountain just kind of sitting there in the mist. And when I'm brushing out the bottom, I'm like making smiley faces. Think of it as the mountain is smiling at you. Okay? There we go. There's still a little bit up here. Pull some of that down. There we go. That's better. And pull it this way. Okay, and I can already see where I'm going to put some highlights and shadows. So we're going to sit that bad boy down. I'm going to cut in front of the camera. I'm going to clean off this big knife. Okay, again, cut in front of you guys. Sorry about that. Look over here. Let's see what we've got. I'm liking this so far. And this is, again, you know, that's why you step back every few minutes and check what you're doing. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that. Remember, we said this would be summer. This is going to be winter. Pull my paint out. I'm going to get a little roll of paint onto my palette knife. It should look like this. I should live right on the edge. No pressure. Hold your knife like this. Do not touch the blade. Hold your knife like this. Come up here. No pressure. No pressure. And you get that breaking if you're doing it right. If it looks like you're icing a cake, it's too much pressure. That way. That way. I know I've still got paint. So we'll connect those guys right in there. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all of the roses and all the little things. Thank you so much. Those really do help people find the channel, find our TikTok, see our videos. Alrighty. This guy, I'm going to just use the tip of the knife. And I'm going to kind of do this because I want him to look further back. Looks like he's farther away. Okay. Take some more paint. Come up here. Maybe about right there. And the rougher it is, probably the better it looks, truth be told. Sometimes we can work too hard to make it look perfect. I think when it looks kind of rough and jagged, it looks better. That's just me. You paint your mountains however you see mountains, okay? We all see nature a little differently. And we'll do this. Bring that snow down, okay? Again, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Comments, feel free to ask. All right. I like where we're at. So it's time for shadows. Gotta put some shadows. I'm gonna have to make a new shadow color. And it's kind of a robin's egg blue in there. Okay. Maybe a little more Prussian. That's what I'm looking for, I think. We'll find out here in a second. Oop, there's a hair in the paint. That came from one of the brushes. Alrighty. So we've got our shadow color. We're going to do the one that's farthest away first. In my mind, that's this guy. We're going to do him. And you can kind of, just like that. Okay. Come back. Get some more paint. Come up here. And when I do shadows, I tend to use a smaller part of my blade. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put that one down. I'm going to come back over here and get the small knife. Okay. The small knife works really well. This is kind of a tight area. All right, so we're going to come up in here. Just take your time, especially if you're painting at home, and then cut that one off. That makes it look like he's further back. See that? Didn't know you could do that, did you? Push those mountains around. You got all sorts of power. As Bob used to say, you can push mountains on this canvas. Now, at home, I don't have any power, but here I do. All right. I like what I'm seeing. You can even put a little bit of something right in there. But again, you don't need to put a ton of shadows, okay? If you've got a pound of highlights, it's only a few ounces of shadow, okay? Get some more. Come up in here. I tend to bump the white, okay? And it'll pull a little bit of that white, and that's okay. There we go. Take a step back. Wow, that looks pretty cool. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing. Look at that. There you go. Bring those shadows down into there. Maybe there's a shadow in there. Maybe a little bit of shadow in there. This is, again, a very gentle touch. Oh, so gentle. It's 2 hairs and some air. Okay. Thank you for watching. We're doing this kind of a seasonal change of the seasons. Summer over here, winter over here. May not look like it yet, but we're about to fix that. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to put a couple of trees in here, and then it's going to kind of come this way, okay? Now, we could go here and this way, but let's just try it like this. I got a lot of paint with that mountain there, so I'm going to try to avoid painting over him. Get a lot of paint. I'm going to make sure I add more blue to this mountain mix. I'm using now a lot of the Prussian blue with the mountain mix. We've got a lot of blue on here. Maybe some phthalo blue. What the heck? No green. No green on this side. Okay? We don't want, the only thing worse than yellow snow is green snow. You don't want that. All right. We're going to, just like that, put in our first tree. And then I'm doing the push-up trees. These are my favorites. All right, just walk on down the tree. Walk on down the tree. Make those little noises. Okay, maybe put some bushes and grasses at his foot there, Bob would say. All right. And reload your brush. Woo, bravery test. This one is a big old tall tree. He's gonna go right there. That means we're gonna have to go over that peak. Oh gosh. Worked so hard for my mountain, but that's all right. We know how to do them now. Just maybe leave some gaps in your tree too. They always look interesting to me when they have little gaps. So just come down here. You might have some trouble getting the paint to stick over that thick paint. If you do, you can add a little paint thinner, but I think we did okay. Coming down here, just like that. All right, check the chat, see if anybody's got any questions or comments. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate all of you guys watching, hopefully following us. We also have a YouTube channel. Just look for Paint with Sean on YouTube. Man, a lot of folks are in here. If you got questions or things like that, please let me know. I'm always happy to answer. Now, I'm gonna come up here. All I'm doing is I'm hitting the brush against the canvas, and the brush handle itself isn't really moving. There you can see it better, I think. It's the bristles, okay? It's the bristles. Now, if we've got land here, we probably should have land here, but that's okay. It's a fantasy. It doesn't really matter. If you want, you could come back in here and you could put some bushy things, okay? I'm going to leave it like that. Now, I'm going to get one more clean, dry fan brush. I'm going to get a little bit of the Bob Ross liquid white on the brush tips. Come into the white paint now, because we're going to highlight these trees and those snowy bushes at the feet. Okay? And get yourself a lot of paint. It really does need quite a bit of paint. Okay, set your palette to the side. And I always do this every single time. I forget to put in the trunks. I'm not going to forget this time, especially with a big hole right there. So we're going to just right there. Got his trunk. Got to have something to hold all that up, right? Maybe one there, maybe one there. That's good enough. Set that to the side, grab our already loaded paintbrush, and then we're just going to touch. Do not kill all the dark. Okay, do not kill all the dark. If you do, it's going to make your tree look flat. We don't want no flat trees around here. Take a step back, see if you like it. I do. Pretty happy with that. Reload the brush a little bit. You're going to pick up some of the blue, okay? And that's okay. Don't worry about it. Come up in here. Doop, doop. There you go. Just like that. Some snow on this old tree. There we go. There we go. Snow on that guy too. All right. Reload. Now you could wipe your brush to get that blue off. I am not. Okay, it doesn't really bother me too much. And then just come in here, put in your snowy bushes at their feet. Okay. Set that down. Get our pretty dirty 2-inch. But I'm going to beat the devil out of it. We'll knock off some of that lighter paint. We're just going to pull down. Make it look like there's some reflections in that snow or ice or icy snow water, whatever. Whatever that happens to be. Take a paint, clean off our knife. Pull out some of the brown. And again, it needs land to sit on, right? This can't be just floating there. So we're going to use Van Dyke Brown only. And then I'm going to get just white that I used to highlight. Suddenly, all of that is highlighted. All right, like it's got snow on it. Take your knife, gonna have to clean it. Got all sorts of brown on it. I'm gonna get a little roll of paint. And this is a very small roll. Make it look like there's all sorts of stuff going on there. Just kind of bring the painting together. You can even come in here, kind of scratch through some of that if you want. Okay. Little sticks and twigs. There we go. All right. Now the moment of truth. Well, we got a couple of things first. Almost forgot. All of my paintings, I always put a bird for each one of my miniature schnauzers that is across the rainbow bridge. So we got to put 4 little birds. Just get some dark paint. I've had my liner brush just sitting in paint thinner for a few hours. So it's nice and soft, and that's what I suggest you do. Then pull it through that paint, pull the paint thinner and the paint. That's going to loosen it up. You should be able to pull it to a nice sharp edge. I don't know, we'll put them over here. Just little M birds. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. Okay? All right, we're almost done. Now the moment of truth. If Jordy's still around, she knows this is always the most difficult part. Here we go. We're going to take off the tape and let's see what we've got. Right there. We got a little bit of paint that snuck under the tape. That's okay. That's all right. Just let's anyone that wants to purchase it know this is not done by AI. This was not computer generated. Now, if it really bothers you, like let's just say right in here, you could have a tree that sticks out. You could just do something like that. Okay, onto that dry canvas, and then just put yourself a tree that breaks that border. Okay, which I've done before. And you just take your knife and kind of a pointy tip, using the knife. You take that highlight color that we were using, maybe add a little more liquid white to it. Just want to make sure it's nice and soft. Just come in here. All the way down your tree there. There you go. And that is kind of cool. It makes it interesting. It's breaking the border. You got the mountain right there breaking the border a tad bit, but that's not really a big deal. Now our last, we got to sign it. So I'm going to get that liner brush full of paint thinner. I'm going to pull it through the bright red. I'm going to sign it right over here. Okay. And with that, in just a few minutes, you've got a completed painting. Hopefully everybody was able to learn something. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Give us a like and a follow. You can also check us out on YouTube. And with that, we're going to sign off for today. We will be back tomorrow morning. And I do like to have the signature sometimes break that as well. We'll be back tomorrow morning, so thank you very much. I appreciate everybody that joined. Thank you. Thank you, Jordy. And notice you were still here. I didn't mess up the tape. Looking back from behind, this looks really good. Got a couple of little happy accidents. I love it. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.